All right, hello guys. Welcome. Hope you are doing well at this time of the night, and yeah, hopefully you had your dinner. Yep, because we're having Adobe XD workshop right this moment. Right, if you are interested, actually this workshop is presented by Sunway Tech Club. So these are the links that you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, let's just start by giving a little introduction on who we actually are. So, Sunway Tech Club, basically, we are like a community of people who are tech enthusiasts, and yeah, we focus on like to bridge the gaps between tech education, tech entrepreneurship, and the tech industry itself. And yep. So what do we do is that we do types of activities and events. It's like workshop and talks and meetup like this one. So yeah, hopefully you have like a fruitful session for tonight. And tonight we'll be having an Adobe XD workshop, which will be presented by Yo. He's standing right there. You can't see him yet, but yeah, you'll see him later. So Adobe XD is very important in terms of like designing when it comes to like websites or even like mobile applications. But more of the details will be explained by him later. So yeah, please welcome him.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Yo. So today I'll be your host and will be co-joined with Pupu. You can't see him yet also, but you will see him later. So this will be an overview of based on this current workshop. So through this entire workshop, you will be expected to know what is UI UX, what is UI UX, what is Adobe XD, why Adobe XD, the installation parts of it, and the designing prototype and how to use a basic plugin and creating components. After that, we will move on to a slight Q&A session right after that. So basically, what is UI UX? So in general, when you look at UX design, it refers to the user experience design. So what is user experience design? So basically, it's UX design is not actually noticed until usually it's bad. So example will be a loading page. So if let's say if the loading page takes a lot of time, that's a sign of very bad user experience. So basically, it's something that affects the user personally. So let's say if we look at UI design, it stands for user interface design. So basically it deals with how we as users interact with the UI. So example of a good UI and what is a bad UI would be this. So if let's say if the UI was good, then you will have something like a different color component to differentiate what will be good and what will be bad. So if you look at this, it is basically UX is basically the interaction and experience users have with the product, while user interface is the specific asset users interact with. For example, UI can deal with traditional components like design elements of a product. So what is Adobe XD? So Adobe XD is a vector-based user experience design tool for web apps and mobile apps developed and published by Adobe. With Adobe XD, you get one powerful tool for your whole UI UX design process, which allows you to create user flows, wireframes, high-fidelity designs, interactive prototypes, animations, and more. So why Adobe XD? Basically, Adobe XD allows you to do prototyping, which deals with more towards the user experience, whereas it helps you to design and also helps in development processes through various plugins and many more. So what are the exact benefits of using Adobe XD? So it is feature rich, which allows you to create many different type of wireframes or markups, leading to static UI designs and interactive prototypes. So an example would be like if you have a client and you want to create a mockup before building an application. So you can use Adobe XD to create a mockup to present it to your client before actually building your app. Moreover, Adobe XD is free, but there is a premium version for it, which you can take a look at it at the Adobe XD website. So basically, this is the installation process. So if you go to my repo here that I'm about to send you, hold on. So this is the repo, and if you go to the link, you can install Adobe XD over here. So you just start for free by clicking the start for free button, and it take you to creating an account. I already created and installed, so you just, if you haven't installed Adobe XD, you just follow this process and you should be okay. And now let me go back. So basically now we'll go on to the hands-on part where we teach you how to design, prototype, and use a basic plugin. So now I will follow on with Pupu to help you with the teach you design part.
Right, gonna get the headphones and let's get started. So, all right, adjust a bit for my mic. All right. Okay, sure. So today we're going to cover about how we can use Adobe XD. So I'm going to spin up my Adobe XD. So if you haven't installed, go ahead and install it. And I already installed, and this is what you're going to see when you have successfully put up your Adobe XD. So right now you can see this is a typical Adobe homepage for you to create like we call it an artboard or documents like that. So they have a premium plans, but we are going to use a starter plan for now. And we're going to click this. Today we're going to create a design and prototype for mobile app, not for the website. But it is like the same way of how you can create a website. So we're gonna click this, iPhone X. So by default, Adobe XD will create like a sort of like a default page for you to use. So you can easily like create another page if you want, like going to this artboard icons, and all of your screens will be right here. So say if you want to create like for a website view, you can simply click it, and Adobe XD will create a new screens for you that you can like draw on and edit on it. But right now we're going to use mobile designs. So I'm going to explain a bit about the interface of this Adobe XD. So on your left-hand side, you can see these are like the toolbox that you can use. So you have shape tools like rectangle, ellipse, triangles, lines, pen, text, and the one that we mentioned just now, the frames, or that frame is what we call in the Figma, but in Adobe XD, we call it an artboard. And we have this to zoom in and zoom out. On your bottom left, you can see like there's three, So there's three tabs here. We are going to explore about these three tabs afterwards, but not going to do it now. Right now, what I want to do is to start creating like a simple buttons. So it's better to directly show you how can we do that. So we'll head on to the left-hand side, the toolbox, click the rectangles, draw it, and you have to click it, yeah. And you have to be aware that your toolbox all are like, you have to, if you want to make it into like a cursor mode, you have to click it back. It's not turned off by default, so you have to click it. Or you can use the hotkey V to turn it. So gonna click this, and what we want to do is that I want to change this button backgrounds into a black colors. So we can scroll over on the right hand side. This is what we call a properties tab. We can scroll down and see there is a few colors. So turn that into black. Okay, so let's create a text on top of this button. So I'm gonna keep this text tool, click on the buttons, and gonna say like sign out. So it has like a default colors for you, and remember that you have to switch back to cursor mode if you want to move stuff, because by default Adobe XD will not switch back to you. So press V for the hotkey or for cursor mode, and gonna move it to the center of the button. Move it to the center of the button. So click it again. What we want to do now is to, maybe this is a bit like unreadable, right, as in the contrast. So gonna make it into white colors. Scroll down and look for the fill properties and adjust it to white colors. And we're gonna make it to have like a font weight of bold, and Yeah, so now the button looks like a button right now. Right, yeah, okay. So now the button looks like a button. That's right. So right now, if you want to move these buttons, it's quite tedious because you have to like highlight everything and move together. So you can actually like right click and group them together, or you can hit on the in window is Control G to group them together. So you can move them at one side. And it's a best practice to group your so-called components to group them together for the future purposes. And we have this as single buttons, but the edges right now is looking a bit like too sharp for me. And you can see there's like a very lightweight borders right here, and I don't want that. So let's go back on the property side. So you have to remember that everything, if you want to change anything about these shapes or these components, everything's on your right side. If you want to create something, everything's on your left side. So and we're gonna disable the borders by clicking on this like this. So you can see now the border is gone, and that's what we want. So we want to have like a border radius, and in order to create a border radius, you can the most convenient way is that you have to double click on these rectangles, or if you click you don't you can see that there's a 4 dots here, right? 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots. So you can click that and drag. That's how we can easily like see the real-time effects on how we can adjust the border radius. All right. Or so if you when you click on this and you don't see the four dots, that's most likely because you are clicking on the group itself. So we're gonna head on to the left side bottom left. There is a layers. So the layers here will have like all the components that you have created and store it in a like a file structure kind of thing. So when you click on this, you have to remember that you are clicking on the icon, not on the titles, because when you click it, you're not going to see anything. You can only rename it. So to really click on the icon, click it, and you can highlight the rectangles. That's when you can see the border line, the 4 dots. So we're gonna make it a bit like this, like this maybe, or you can directly edit here as well, like 5 is good enough. Typical 5 border radius. And we're gonna create another buttons for side in, right? So and based on the UI UX design theory, we shouldn't make like the same colors for the buttons. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create another kind of buttons. So I don't want to like click on the rectangle again and then resize it again. So what I'm going to do is that I will highlight this group of buttons and then going to copy and paste. Or there's a shortcut key which we call it duplicate. In Windows is Control D, in Mac is Command D. So you can see it duplicate one, and you can move it to the right side, just like this. Maybe like this, just like this. Okay, so we're gonna name it to sign in. But the colors looks a bit off, right? I mean, as in like both of them are having the same background. So let's change it to another color, or a light gray colors, something like this, right? This, and then I'm gonna change this text into black colors, just like this. And it now looks better, right? As in like we have another a contrast between both components. And when you want to create like a visual hierarchy here, and the first thing I want the users to do is to click on the sign up. I mean, like for most first landed users. All right. So that's how you can easily like create a buttons, 2 buttons here actually. So right now, so you can see like the margin here, the margin here, and the margin here is different. So we're gonna group them together by hitting Control G, or like right click and selecting group. So gonna move them into the centers and ensure that the padding is correct. All right, now it looks better. And we're gonna create like so since it is a mobile app, right? So whenever you go into mobile app, you will face like a home page, like a welcome page. So most likely you'll be showing your logos here and your slogans here. So what I'm going to do is that I create a very simple logo right here. So in order for you to create a simple logos, what I want to do is I will hit on the rectangle icons, or the hotkey is R stands for rectangles. And I want to create like this. Oh yeah. So by the way, if you want to make it like, because this time it's a rectangle, but if you want to make it into a square, you can hold Shift, and Shift will automatically make it into a square mode. And I want to make it around this 125 size, a typical size, 125 pixels. We have this, and what we want to do, I want to disable the border as well, and I want to have like borders of probably 10. And after that, I want to make the background colors to black as well, because that's our accent colors. Click on that. And so right now, if you can see, my cursors right here is not is in a rectangle mode. I want to switch back to a pen cursor mode. So I can hit on V to switch back, and I can drag these logos into my frames, just like this. So if you look at the layers here, again, the layers, and then coming to here, you're gonna see like it's pointing to this artboard. But if you're looking for the whole things, right, you can actually go and click on others. But right now, we're going to look for the artboard. I want to create some patterns. No, this is definitely not the logos. So I have an idea in mind that I want to create logos like this. Click on this, and then it's a pen tool. Switching back to the cursor mode, going back to hit on the borders. And then this, oh yeah, by the way, this is the time to introduce a line tool. It's basically like how you can draw a line in your Paint 3D. So gonna adjust the size to probably 3 pixels, and we can move it around. Right, something like this. And I want to create like an ellipse. I hit on the circles and create like a small kind of a circles, and maybe make it a bit larger, like this. Okay, sure, like this, just like this. Disable the fill. I want the borders to become yellow colors, just like this, and maybe the borders is a bit thicker, like this. So we have created like a very simple kind of a logos. So what I want to do is that I want to group them together, hitting Control G or group. So you can see I can move them around. And imagine like if in another case, like another pages, I want to have another logos, the same kind of logos, I will need to find this page and then copy and paste. And that's very tedious, right? So how about we introduce you the ideas of components. So I'm going to convert this into a component so that I can reuse in the future. So what it means is that I'll just show you. I'll hit on this, and then I will rename this by going to left here, layers, selecting that one, and choose maybe I name it logos. All right. So we have this group names logos. So I want to right click these things and click this make components, or Control K, Command K for hotkeys. And we have essentially make it into a components. So where can I like copy and paste the components again, right? So in the future, if I want to access this logo again, I won't go to here and copy and paste. I'll go to this tab. There's like assets right here. So when I hit on assets, you can see there are 3 types of assets we can create: colors, character styles, and components. So character style is essentially your fonts. The components in this case is the group or the shapes that we have. So we're gonna click that and drag drop, which you will see like it then create a new logo right here. So the one of the best, it is actually considered as a best practice, because in future if you want to like modify a logo again, right, or any other things, if you are not using components, you might have to go to every single page of your artboard to modify individually. But if you are using a component start from the beginnings, so say if I want to make this circles into the border of the circles become thickers, I can just go to the root of this. If you can't find the roots, just go to the assets and then click on this. All right, this. So you can just click on this or any of the components. So here on the circles, and we can change the size to 5. So, and you can see apply the effects to all the other as well. The another logo it becomes the thicker as well, right? So in the future, you don't have to like go to every single page of your mobile app and edit it anymore. So yeah, it's the best practice to make everything into a component. So and I want to create like a slogans right here. Hit on the text and create a text here called share files. So this is a bit like small, right? I can adjust the font size to like maybe 60s to make it a bit larger. And now I'm in a text mode. I would like to change back to the cursor mode to move files, to move my components. So I will put it right here. Put it right here. All right, right here. Share files. All right. Right here. Okay, sure. And I'm going to create another text field as well. Click on the frames and call securely. Switch back, hit the axis to complete it, and hit the K key, V key to switch back to cursor mode. So make it to the next lines. And I want this word has like a different kind of a font and a different kind of a font weight. So let's switch to 40 to make it into smaller, and this, and switch to light. Yeah. So now you can see like we created like a simple visual hierarchies for the users to navigate for their eyes. So I want to make this into the centers. All right, just like this. So we have created like a very simple kind of a landing page. Actually, I have a better idea. Why don't we put it? Yeah, this looks better. So and we have just created a very simple welcome page for the mobile app. So why not we try to create another page? So when I want the user flow, like when I click on the signups, it's going to ask for my phone numbers. All right, so let's do that. So how can we create another page? How can we create another artboard? So you can, again, when you want to create something, just go on to the left tab, okay, sure. And hit on the artboard, click on any, but right now, because by default you're using iPhone X, so I'm going to use an iPhone X as well. And remember, you really have to switch, remember to switch back to the cursor mode, or else when you click on anything, you will like create a new one. And it's actually like a kind of bad user experience for me for Adobe XD. Quite early, but yeah. And we're gonna create a very simple like a page to ask for the phone numbers, and gonna have a numpad around here. Let's do that. So I want to have my logos right here. Probably not that big, and I will switch that to a smaller one. I'll switch that to this, and so this. You can see the circle is a bit off, so I can individually like overwrite this. Overwrite this. 3, 4, and move it to the middles. All right. So you won't see any changes to this because this is a child component to the parent components. So if you're familiar with OOP, but no worry about that. So essentially, whatever you do to the instance that we created from here that you click and drop, it won't affect the original, the root of everything. So yeah, don't worry about that. You can always override stuff. So we're gonna move it to here, and I want to have like a text field of welcome. This exit, and then hit V to switch back. Move it to the middles, right? The middles, and have another one. Or why don't we just put them into the same one? What is your phone numbers? Yeah, just like this. And exit V. Okay, sure. And we're gonna adjust the font size to 18. So one of the the best practice is that your minimum font size is always 16 to 18. The real minimum is 16, recommended is 18. And so this is left and right. I want to make it into center line. So I click this on the properties tab, click and drag to the here, just below the logos right here, just like this. Okay, sure. And we're gonna create like a very simple kind of a drop down buttons. So and you can start to see, right, the usual flow, the way that you design all these things is exactly as how you will do in your Paint 3D. You know, create the rectangles, create a circles, create a triangles. There's nothing fancy here. It's all shapes. So the same, I just create create like a square here, just like this. Switch to the cursor mode, pressing V. Yes, and probably around here. All right, so inside this, I want to have like the country codes, right? So probably we're gonna switch back to the text mode. Take this and maybe in Malaysia it's +60. So exit V, and then go to here, right? Just like this. So we want to have like the usual drop down button has like a down arrow, right? So I'm gonna expand this a bit to fit in for the arrow. And so right now I'm going to create my own arrow. Is how can we do that? It's very simple. It's by clicking the line tool and holding shift will help you to while holding shift and click and drag, right? It will help you to set the steps into 45 degrees. So yeah, and we set this like this and switch to the V, the cursor mode. Hit this Control D or copy paste. And you can see we have made a new one, right? So what I'm gonna do is that I will make this rotate. So maybe I'll rotate by 90 degrees, and we make both of them together, just like this. Just like this. So you can see like there's something going on right here. So yeah, make them fit into the same. Okay, just like this. Oh my god. Just like this. Okay, so we have made like a very simple kind of arrows. It's very thin. I want to make it thicker. By changing this by this, and like this. Yeah, cool. So highlight them and Control G to group, or right click to group them together. So we made like a very simple kind of a arrow. And oh my god, what's this? I'm gonna move them to 8. Move them to here. God. So here, and make it to a bit bigger. Selecting the actual stuff. So if you face like the similar difficulty that I faced just now, you can always go to the layers and then highlight the stuff directly. So I can rename this to arrow, like this. And going to like turn to here. So I'm not going to perfect the design. So it's not necessary to perfect the design now. So I'll just leave it out just like this, and I'm going to make like a text field right here. So I want to have like a text field without the borders, without the field, just a text field. So maybe I can say maybe like 170,988,68, just like this. Then switch to the cursor mode. It is and you can like do like this. So move them like this, and you want you want the users to be able to differentiate that this is a placeholder that they can click. So we can do that by making the text into lighter, so it feels like a placeholder. So you can see like for the whole process, right? We are trying to like do a lot of fake things, but it's actually that's how it works. So highlight this, and then I can group them together so that I can move them together into the middles. All right. So we have created like a very simple kind of a text field and a drop down buttons, and we will start and create the next one, which is like a buttons for called continues. So click on the rectangles and then like create like a buttons like this, and then switch back to the cursor mode by using V. Move to the centers, and then we want to have like a button just like this. So so we're gonna make it like something like that. So make it black colors, remove the borders, and we want to adjust for the borders, which is in this case is 5 pixels. And then inside here, I will create a text field to have a text called continue exit. Switch to V. Yeah. Every time when you exit, you have to, every time when you do done something, you have to switch back to the cursor mode, which is very tedious, but that's how it works. So I want to have like also like a bold and a white colors. Bold. Bold. Yes, just like this. Then down here is my numpad. So I'm going to create like a very simple numpad right here by like highlighting, creating rectangles. Highlight everything right here, and the numpad has like a very maybe a darker background and without the borders. I don't want to have borders, right? Just like this. And then we're going to have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like that, and probably yeah, just a simple numpad that we can mimic up. So 1, I want it to have another black colors, maybe not bold, regulars, and then maybe largest for 50 pixels. And going to going to switch back to the cursor mode. It is and create maybe a duplicate 1, duplicate 2, duplicate, and make this into a middles. So Adobe XD has this very nice features that it can help you auto align. I think pretty much all the other design tools have this feature as well. I'm gonna change it to 2, change to 3. Highlight them all together, group them, Control G or right click, and then adjust a bit. Duplicate this, duplicate this. All right. So this one I'm going to change it to 4, 5. This one is 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I just adjusted something right here. And then the last one would be that 0. So right here. So you can see I cannot like directly copy from the group because it will count it as inside the group. So what I can do is that I can drag them out. I can reorder them. So this is a 0. All right, and gonna have the just like this. All right. So we have a very simple numpad right here. So the next user flow I want to have is that when the user hit the continue, they're going to the server is going to send in like a verification code to the users so that they will see like SMS inside and they can enter the passcode. All right, let's create another page. So as usual, we go to the artboard, click on that, and select the screen size that we want. In our case, it will be the iPhone X, and it will create. So be away, don't click again. So hit on the V, or go to here, hit on that, or else you'll create another frames. So we have another frames right here. But right now, all the page are like having a very weird name, right? Like 1, 2, 3. So I would like to rename them. Double click it again. Call this welcome. Call this maybe phone numbers, and then the third one is the passcode for verifying the passcode. So So you can see like when I click on this, I can directly go to my my phone numbers page. When I click on this, I can go to my passcode page. So let's create another page. A similar kind of design, as we have a design consistency here. So I can just copy this and paste it right here. This and paste it right here, just like this. And we want to have a similar kind of a font. So copy this and paste. Like this. Enter your passcode. Code. So adjust a bit and make it like similar, consistent layout. Like this. Okay, I hope my eyes is aligned. Okay, sure. Yeah, almost the same. So I want this to have like maybe a larger font, or else they won't be able to see it. So maybe put it as 22. And we will want to have like a dot, right? So you won't so we have like to have like a dot, and for the users to enter the passcode. So create a circles by going to here, or going for ellipse as a hotkey. So create a very simple circles, remove the border, let the fill become black. So it's a bit large right now. So I want to make it into smaller. So, and if you see like, I can like it. Also you have to shift on the, you have to hold the shift, or else it'll be like this. So if you hold the shift, it will automatically assume you are trying to create a very good circles kind of. So we have these circles right here, and hit exit, hit on V to change to cursor mode. I want to duplicate this. So by default, we always have received like a 6-digit passcode, right? Gonna duplicate this, and just like this, duplicate, just like this. So you can see they are having the same same margin. So I'm gonna group them together and duplicate. Same 18, right? If I got correct. 18. So for the second groups, I want to change it to a bit lighter, so that the users knows that they haven't they only like entered three digits without the rest of them. So and also I want to make this into one downward a bit, and this one maybe move a bit upwards. So, and also I would like to have the similar kind of design for our numpad. So gonna copy, duplicate this, okay. Copy this, everything. Copy, group them together. So in this case, we might want to make it into a component, since it's a reusable component for us. So gonna right click, make components. Gonna call this numpad. So take this and paste it in here. I can put it here. So I wanted to have like a maybe like a not receive your passcode, and then like there's a countdown timer there. But yeah, but you have to be aware that this everything is, we try to fake it out. You know, we're not trying to create a real mobile app. It will have no functionality. It's just exactly as how your Paint 3D works, is to trying to fake it out. Although like recently we have like a new startups. It's called Bravo Studio. That is able to convert all these things into a mobile app instantly. And also we in tomorrow we're gonna talk about the supernova, which how you can convert this easily into code very easily. But let's not cover today. So gonna create another text right here. They say not receiving your code, just like this, and switch to the cursor mode right under here. It's not the best design, right under here. Then gonna make the 16s, counts into 16s. Then probably just now I accidentally updated opacities. So right now I want this text to let people know that this text is clickable. So one of the tricks that we can do is adjusting the colors. So we can hit on the fields. There's a color triples here, or a best case is that since we are going to use the colors from the logos, which is these colors. So what we can do is that we create a new component. Right here's like this. So you can see it create a new components right here, and we can access it in here. So we don't need to go in here and copy and paste anymore, because we can directly access it once you make it into a component. So, but I don't want to have like this light, right? Because the contrast is not there, and it's not quite accessible as well. So I'm gonna make it a bit darker, and maybe like about this stuff, and then make them into another components that I can use again in the futures. So something like this, very simple. And when the user is going when the user hit everything, and then it's going to fill up all the digit, all the circles right here, and they're going to navigate to the next page. So I'm going to create another page again, but this time I want to try something fancy. So this app is designed to share the files securely. So, and we are using an iPhone, right? So what we can do is that we can implement a security layers. So for the users, they must use a Touch ID to open the apps. So what we can do after is that we can create a new page, just like this. Maybe I will call this Touch ID. So I'm going to go to the layers and rename this to Touch ID. Touch ID verifications. So the user must use a Touch ID to verify themselves, and I'm gonna hit the V. So I want to get like the thumbnail. What's it called? The picture for the thumb, right? The fingerprint. Yeah, the fingerprints. Oh my God, the picture of the thumb. So gonna download it. Simply Google search maybe thumb image. What is it called? Fingerprints. Apple Touch IDs. SVG, right? SVGs. Okay, check. Why is it so big? So I'm gonna go for icon finders or images. Here. So this is a perfect one. Thanks, Google. How better if we can get it here. Yeah, we have a better one. So get this, and hopefully this is okay. Sure. So we have this file right here that we had SVG documents. So how we can input it is very simple. As how usually you will expect the user experience to be, is that you can click and drop here. So Adobe XD as a software to design UI UX flows is also very good at their UX. So but then right now, if we do this, it will scramble everything, right? Because that's a SVG. So I think I should better off download the PNG format. Maybe this is good enough. So I will delete this, and paste in the PNG, just like this. So although this is not exactly the same icon for Apple, but I think it's good enough. So maybe put in Touch ID to open. So highlight everything, make it into probably bold, I guess, and black, or not bold, regulars. Okay, make the font size maybe to 50s, or that's too big. 30s, it's good enough. And then switch back to V. Yeah, that's the most frustrating part for me. I go switch back. So and then gonna group them together to make them into the centers. So we're gonna have to make another buttons right here for the cancel buttons, so that the user, when they accidentally click this app and they are not the original owner of this mobile phone, they can cancel. So we have the similar buttons here right now, right? So we can copy this, paste in right here. So move into the middles, and call this cancel. Yes. That's not so now we have like a very simple way to import your image that you can just drag and drop as how you usually would be expecting it to have. So you can even have to make it like having some border radius to adjust the image. So in the case of using a border radius, it's very convenient for you to have the avatar. I think Yo later is going to show you how we can put the avatars inside, but that's not going to give up for me. So last page, yes. We're going to create like another page. When the user use the touch ID and when they are signing in, you definitely don't want to show them nothing, right? Like anything like that. So as in the slides is also showing here, the best experience is like you show the progress bar, not just loading dot dot dot, because it's sort of like a UX thing. So let's go to here and create a new artboard. I keep calling it frames, and cursor modes and switch this to signing in. Okay, we have this. So very simple, very clean design, just like a loaders, CSS loaders right here, and also a signing in. So how we can create the loaders is very simple. We just get these circles right here, and probably not this big one. Maybe like this. In the middles, and changes to P, please big. Also by the way, the circle is actually the borders. So so if you switch off, like that. So and then we're gonna need to make this a bit like this, just like this. So and also we're going to create like a curve, an arc right here to indicate that when the progress bar is going to hit here, it means 100%. So we can do that by going to have a pen tools. Maybe going to here, 45 degrees, click on this, and got it. That's it. We'll push it back, and we can use the Bezier curve to adjust to make it into a curve. So right here, Bezier curve. If you are like a designing student, you must be very familiar with this tool. This in the middles, and also change the size of the trees. And what's this? It's good. Yeah. Okay. So we made like an arc using a BGA curve. So you can use that for actually you can if you can use that to create a lot of like graphics right here already. So let's have a text view text right here called signing. Is it how it spells? Sign in. As usual. So and we switch back cursor mode, pressing V. But this is probably too large compared with the previous one. So we're gonna make it to over this, see this in this grouping together and put it into the middles. So at least like when people like when they use the touch ID, they'll be able to sign in and they will see this kind of loaders. So essentially, one last thing I want to cover is that when you are going to design like a material design, you always have like a drop shadows kind of effects. Right? So why not we apply this to our buttons? So to make our buttons to more fancier. So we can on same as if you want to edit something, it's always on your right. So right here, you can see that to select the rectangles, you can scroll down and you can have a lot of other things other than fill. You can adjust for border and there is a shadow right here. So you're gonna tick enable it to enable the shadow effects. So usually the settings will be like this. So you have to double click the rectangle. You have to ensure that you are selecting the rectangles instead. Rectangles and then shadows. So you will want to adjust it to the opacities. You can adjust the opacity. So usually my preference is probably like 25 or something. So it won't look like too strong and it won't look like until that you cannot notice it. So we're gonna select. We have this, and we can apply it to all of our others buttons as well. So here on the shadows, 0, 15, blur 15, and make this probably also 25. Yeah, 25. And 25. Yeah, just like this. And you can see, oh, also this is a bad one because maybe like 5. So you can see, right, the blur here, the blur properties here is for you to like how much it should spread out. So the distance for us to spread out is, in this case, is 5 pixels. In the case, it's 15 pixels. So 15 pixels away the components. So probably in this case, we will want to adjust not the spread, but rather the opacity, so that it won't like probably like around 10 secondary buttons. So you can see like it makes just with that a little amount of difference, you can see that significantly like this one stands out more. So you can apply a lot of things and having or a lot of others effects, layouts, and probably like even the prototyping that Yo is going to share like this very easily using Adobe XD. So I think that sums out my sections. So probably before we move on and I pass it back to yours, is there any question from the floor? Okay, here. Is it? All right. So, okay, so sure. So I think for now, that probably that's it because of time limits that we have. So probably I'll pass this back to yours.
Hello, everyone. Well, thank you, Pupu, for the great design. So from now on, I'll be going through with you all how we can actually be able to prototype this user interface. So basically, when you deal with prototyping, it allows you to basically deal with the user experience. So through this welcome page, maybe as you can see on the right side, there are interaction plots that allows you to transition from a page to another page through prototyping. So let's say if we are going to use the tab trigger and we would like to move it to the phone number page, so it will prototype us from tapping to going to the welcome page to the phone number page. So we can also choose the type of trend we would like to of action that we would like to use to move on from welcome to phone number. For example, there are transition, auto animate, overlay, and many other different type of actions that can be done through prototyping. So let's say if we are going to choose an overlay, so it will move on from welcome to phone. So if let's say if we test it out and see prototyping from welcome, we get this kind of view. So this is the functional overlay, but from overlay, I guess that doesn't really sum up a very good approach to move. So what we should do is probably perform a transition phase. So basically from going from a transition from sign up to from welcome to phone number. And as you can see at the phone number page, we can also do that same way. So let's do another transition and maybe from. So right now you have a transition from welcome page to phone number and from phone number to passcode. So right now from passcode, let's say there are others also. So maybe we can try the scroll tool instead of using the passcode. So instead of going to here, we choose the scroll tool. And okay, so notice that there are two types. So tap and drag. You can choose whether you want like to drag your design and also tap your design. So let's say if we choose the tap in transition, but while you drag, it will basically just move from pass from your first design to the second design. So now let's go on to the Touch ID verification where we can prototype. Maybe we can add like let's say maybe let's say your touching ID, you would like to embed a voice that occurs based on touching this touch ID verification. So let's say maybe okay, let's say we're going here to sign in. So let's say we use type. Just hold on. I think we can't do that. This icon doesn't allow me to do live. Well, never mind then. I guess doesn't allow me to do it. So sorry about that. So as you can see, we can do other transitions based on each component from moving from A to B. So let's say we use to cancel the transition. What I would like to use, maybe we can use the audio playback. I do not know why for the touch ID verification vector it doesn't work. So I would like to introduce you some voice prototype. So based on this, we can use embed voice, and you can choose to add your own audio file, or you can just type the speech based on what you like to say. So let's say you can also choose what type of speaker. This is Adobe XD's feature that allows you to have many different types of speakers. So let's say if you like to say cancel from entering, you would say cancel, and it will allow you to, it will just primarily repeat with a voice on top of that word. So if let's say if you go to this prototype and you play it and you press cancel, and it will essentially say cancel. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but on my side I do get the cancel in the voice. There's a voice that it appears in there. If you all are trying it, and maybe you all can test out and see. So maybe right now we can have a look from let's say signing in. Probably there's not much left already. So let's say maybe cancel. Other than the voice, maybe we can also choose to go back to the enter your password page through a transition phase. So maybe right there, and let's just test out the prototype from here. So let's see. This is the UI right now. So we choose to sign up, and it moves on to the phone number page. Or else you sign in also, you can get this. So this is basically how you can do prototyping, where you allow your transition from A to B and B to C, or C to D, or if you want D back to C. So now I would like also introduce you some plugin usages, so which will actually help you in some development. So let's say if you look at social media apps like Instagram, notice that your story icon uses pictures, has a profile picture. So basically, how can you create a basic profile picture image through vector that displays on Instagram? So maybe we can go back to design and say we'd like to I will create another grid. So let's say creating another grid, and you can see the dot over here, and let's say we create a circle. So based on that, you have over here, maybe let's say edit the border, make the border a little bit darker, so you can have a darker contrast on top of it. And then right after that, we can use the plugin feature, where if you just press this, the plugins, you have 3 different type of plugins that I have installed here, but there are more. So you can press the plus to find other plugins. Adobe XD has many plugins, so I guess this is one of the very good features that Adobe XD has. So you can search for different type of plugins that meet your desire. So right now I have 3 plugins now, which is actually the Flutter user profile. So basically, if you want to get your image over here, like a profile picture, you can use the user profile and fill it with user image. So after that, it fills it for you, and basically you get that. So right now you have your field with a profile picture. So maybe you also would like to add a border to this picture, this image. So maybe what you can do is you can also create like another overlay on top of this. Okay, and also after that, maybe your field, maybe you can change the color similar to what Instagram has, maybe dark pinkish or white, not sure what color is this. So you can create your overlay on top of it. So based on that, you can, and then just like maybe move on to the sizes to match the current image. So uh, like this. So then voila, basically you have like a sort of like Instagram or picture profile story picture icon. So this is one of the very good features of using plugins, using user profile plugins, and maybe other different type of plugins. So this really is a good choice for development stages, because also other than having to search online and for different images and editing them, instead you can just use the plugin and you get your image there. Because this essentially it's like a mock-up that you want to show your client, and you don't let, it makes your life easier using like different plugins. So if what you should do is you can go to the store and just explore the various plugins and meet your desire. And basically that is all I'll be catering for prototyping. And so now let's go back to the slides.
You want to share about so one thing we can have in the Figma is about the collaborative tools, right? Like you can invite other people to design together on the same artboard. Would it be better if you can show it in Adobe XD as well?
Yeah, sure, possible. So let's say if you want to invite people to collaborate, what you can do is you can go to the top over here. Maybe I'll just go through advanced over here. You can just click here. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So if you want to invite a friend, maybe what you can do is maybe you have to save it first, and after saving your design. So here you can invite people who like, so let's say you, whatever your friends email is, you can just add people and they will be invited to your project. So in this time you can conduct your prototype and share with your friends your design. So basically that will be all. Yeah, right, Pupu? Yeah, and okay, so let's essentially I'll go back to my slides now. So that will be all for this workshop. We've gone through the design process, prototyping process, and plugins. So here are the essential tips for having an effective design. So personally, my gotcha tips are, so is to actually use design language kits such as like example material design, and also refer to online kits for inspiration. So if you Google Adobe XD templates, there are a lot of well-known people who have like done many designs using Adobe XD. So what you can do is refer to them, see how they create their components, and then gouge it on top of your design. And that will be all. Now we will move on to Q&A session with me and Pupu. Yeah.
Is there any question from the floor?
Yeah.
So if not, I'm going to ask some questions to myself. Is there any questions? All right, sounds good. So, okay, sure. So one of the questions that before I touch into Adobe XD workshop, or is it?
Someone's
Oh
asking.
yeah, there's a questions, right?
Okay.
So gonna wait for that. So we need to design first before adding all the hyperlinks to the buttons. Yes, yes, you definitely need to design your
Design,
buttons first before you can prototype.
Actually, you can just assign the hyperlink to any of the
So-
components, right? You just have to. The
So
design is not really
primary one, basically, it's
Fair
like
enough,
you have to design because without your UI, you can't do your UX. So essentially, that what it means. Imagine with like if you want to learn without learning how to walk, you're trying to already run. So essentially that's the same thing.
So how we can share the prototype to our clients?
Good
So
question.
Okay.
So usually what you can do is that just now I think Yo had shown you like you can
Yes.
share them using these features that you can invite them to the board. So say I can add myself. Probably, oh my god, probably I hope I won't get any spam after this.
You
So
would, for sure.
okay, then it's sent, right? Then you can share them into them temporarily so that they will get into like they'll get into this artboard and then they can see by themselves. And then if you think like they have done it already, then you can remove them. Yeah. So that's how you can share that as well. So I think is there any other ways that we can do it? I'm not sure about Adobe XDs, but I think that's the only way for now. For now.
Well, I think that if there is another way, like you can just send your file to your client. That will be another way.
Yeah, you can just share your file, send your files.
Yeah.
Can we import a set of icons to use in Adobe XDs?
Yes, like material design, you can definitely use them. Those are a set of icons that you can use. So what you can do is basically, okay, if you go back to my GitHub repo, what happened to it? Where is it?
Yes, another.
Yeah, I included actually where is it?
Resources.
Resources. Yeah, this, no, not this.
Assets, right? Is it assets?
Somewhere, here, right here. Your free resources UI kits icon set. You can go here. Basically, you go to UI kits, and then you can download the material design, Apple design. Apple design requires you to have your Mac lah. But if you're on Windows, you can use your material design to get different your designs for your icons. So from here, you can get them.
Yes. So I think maybe you can also show them that the material design that you had downloaded, right?
I download another one. Okay, so basically this is how it looks like. You just download just show you how to download. Okay, and you get a zip file and blah blah blah. And you extract maybe.
WinRAR. Is it expired?
I already downloaded just to all and then
So it gives you all the assets, is it?
it gives you a bunch of generated build
all
assets.
The assets file, the Adobe XD files that you can use. I think it's
Which one
right.
is it? Which one is it?
You don't get them in Figma.
Yes, this one. Okay, so
Is it enough to get a job with just having the skill on Adobe XD?
Definitely. So I think the skill here is not about the Adobe XD itself, but it's rather about how skillful you are on the designing.
Yeah.
It's not about the tool, it's about more the skill sets, I guess.
Yeah, you could be a freelance, designer to help companies to design their apps or anything like that.
Yeah, so you can actually like get all the things, and probably if you want, you can copy and paste for all these components into your own Figma board.
So Harvey's not didn't ask the question, is it possible to run the prototype on an actual device?
Yes.
all you need to do is download. If you're on Android, you can download the Adobe XD app on Play Store, and then from there you can just run the app. You can connect it, and then you can run the app on top of Adobe XD Play Store's app. You cannot deploy it to Adobe XD, but you can run it on a virtual server on Adobe XD.
Yep. For the phone itself, you just download the app.
Yeah.
Right. For the next question, Wai Xiong asked which one is better for designing, Figma or Adobe XD?
My own preferences is, although we are having an Adobe XD workshop, but we're gonna cut this after. My preference is Figma.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of preference, and the main difference is that one costs money and the other doesn't.
Yeah. How about you?
Also, basically, Figma is web-based, so you can actually it's web-based, whereas Adobe XD is actually more towards like desktop-based. So instead of needing really to install that much, if you use Figma, you can just refer to the using web server. So it technically shows better. It's easier for collaboration, basically. But I think Adobe XD has better plugins and more UI kits than Figma. It's my personal opinion.
So
especially with industry, right? I think Adobe XD has stabilized itself in the industry level, but Figma itself, it's kind of like emerging in the current, I don't know, designing
developer
industry.
circles.
Yeah, developer circles.
Yes.
Yeah, mainly because it's collaborative.
Yeah. And also we're going to cover about how we can turn the design in Adobe XD. So one benefit about we have in Adobe XD is that we can use the Supernova.
Yeah, so basically, if you have not signed up, you can go and sign up. You go to Sunway Tech Club's Facebook page and just sign up for the Supernova workshop. So basically, Supernova is a design to code tool that allows you to convert your design into native front-end code. So if you would like to know more, you can join that workshop.
Yep. So when is the Figma tutorials? Oh, see how lah.
When is the Figma tutorial? Actually, we already had one, right?
I
think we have it recorded.
We had it for the departments, but yeah, we see how.
Yeah,
We're a bit out. Is there any recommended apps or software to design concept model for a product like phone or tablet? Because Adobe is only for the interface, but would like to design a 3D model of a product.
If you want to have a 3D model of a product, I suggest you to use Blenders.
Yeah, because as you know, Adobe XD is vector-based, and it's more geared towards static content. So if you're thinking about 3D model, I think that will be a different product.
Yeah. Definitely would like to introduce you the Blenders 3Ds. Probably in future we can do that as well. So yeah. Any other questions? If no, then I think probably Nick, you can continue your sessions.
All right. Right, I'm just gonna be here to kind of wrap up the whole, what do you call that? The workshop. My God, this is annoying. But yeah, before that, right, actually I've left the link in the chat itself. If you like to help us, just leave a feedback for this workshop. But yeah, let me just do a final touching.
Slides.
Where's my slides? It's this one. Okay. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, if you liked our workshop or any of our presenters here, please make sure to join our future events, which the next one we'll be having is the AGM. It's not really fun, but yeah, if you like it, just join. Yeah, in the future we'll be having more workshops like this one. Especially tomorrow we are having another workshop for Supernova, which will be presented by you again. Other than that, right, if you want to keep up with us, actually you can just follow any of our social media. We'll be posting all of our events announcement and any stuff that we do, like activities and stuff. So yeah, if you would like to participate, just go and follow. We'll post our latest updates on there. Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for today's workshop. For joining today's workshop.
All right. Right. Sure. Thanks. Cool. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for being so interactive.
Yeah, good.
Yay. So we'll be turning off this session right now. So have a good night.
Bye.
If you haven't eaten your dinner, you can have it now, which we'll be having. So
It's
Huh?
nice.
It's
nice.
nine.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.